Jeffrey, a 45-pound African spurred tortoise, and Rio, a South American tegu lizard, are at Gulf Coast for checkups. Both animals were found in bad circumstances by a local reptile rescue organization.
We brought in Jeffrey today, who's a Sakata tortoise. He's about 15 years old, and he had a hook attached to his shell. So the previous owner had him attached to a fence, and that's how they kept him in the backyard. And then we brought in Tegu, and his name is Rio, and we don't know his age, but he was caught in a raccoon trap. Do you need help? Okay.
Cases like Jeffrey and Rio are, unfortunately, not unusual for Gulf Coast Exotics Department. Pet neglect, especially among exotic animals, is all too common.
We get a lot of animals that people buy when they're cute and little, about this big, and then all of a sudden they become 100 pounds. And that happens a lot. People don't think about the husbandry of these animals. So Rio was just picked up 2 days ago. He was found as a stray in a raccoon trap.
Okay, so he was trapped.
He was trapped.
Okay.
And it looks like he was cut up by something.
We're seeing more and more Rio situations where these animals come in from South America. Someone didn't realize what they were getting into. But either way, having a large carnivorous lizard is not an easy thing to take care of.
Looks like he has some old scar wounds here.
Okay. Calm down.
That's good.
Calm down.
Okay, here, I'm gonna have Danielle come. Whoops.
If anyone tried to make him do something he didn't want to do, he can be a dangerous animal.
He's a strong boy.
So am I. Not a boy, but...
So we're seeing more and more the product of people not really realizing what they're getting into.
So, ooh, that's
Nice.
good. Perfect. Okay,
That's
so he does
sweet.
have some lesions here.
He's got a
wound on the outside, yeah. Yeah, so poor thing.
Despite some superficial wounds, Rio is in relatively good health.
You know, I have a couple of things here.
Yeah.
But not too bad. Probably from just trying to escape. We can put him on a course of antibiotics. Sorry, pal. You know, to help keep that area region from getting infected. Okay, but he looks like he's actually pretty healthy despite his little traumatic wounds that he has.
These are a lot of neotropical species that are being released into environments that they weren't made for. They weren't made for the exposure to different pathogens that they come across. So it's just not a good situation.
The second patient from the rescue is also not native to Texas, but his problem has less to do with the environment than it does with the people that once owned him.
Jeffrey was part of a seizure, and he was attached to a fence with a chain on that hook on his back.
I need you to help. Okay. Lift him up so I can look at his belly.
Jeffrey is a sulcata, which is an African spurred tortoise. They're the third largest species of tortoise in the world, and they're escape artists.
Oh, he did that to me too.
There's not much that can stand in a big tortoise's way. They will smash through fences, they will push aside rocks.
Which is probably why Jeffrey's former owners chose to chain him to their property. The question is, does that hook on his shell have to stay?